How can I love somebody else if I can't love myself enough to know when it's time to let go? See, I just wanna be so happy, but the answer lies in me. I do believe that I'll be happy, said I wanna be happy, yes, to be happy, that's why I love mine, will be so sweet. All I really want is to be happy. That's why I love mine, will be so sweet. All I really want is to be happy. That's why I love mine, it will be so sweet. Moving forward, going through high school, did you lose your virginity in high school?
College.
College? Okay.
Mhm.
So in high school, did you have any real what you know, and we older now, right? So we know the difference between the
Yeah,
real relationships and that
yeah,
shit we was just tripping on, right? Did you
yeah.
have any real relationships in your high school years?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. None that I would say was real.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What about friendships with boys?
Um, I mean, I had a lot of. I mean, I had friendships with guys. Yeah. I mean, I had friends. I had friendships with guys, but nothing really romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 11th grade, like I said. A little bit of. Well, actually, 12th grade. I remember like the first guy. Ugh, he was hideous, and I worked at the Dollar Tree. He was very hideous, and I don't even talk like that about people, but he was a little bit older, and he would come to my job at the Dollar Tree, and I would just like be so embarrassed. So I think he liked me a whole lot. I didn't like him. I mean, I guess he would be like my main, boyfriend. I also dated briefly, and by dated I mean young dated Marvin Gaye's grandson. So for like a couple of days.
So 12th grade, you're saying you had a relationship, you would
Hmm.
consider yourself in a relationship with someone that you didn't even like.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you explain why that is even possible? Because you're not the only woman I've heard say this, right? I want to
Yeah.
know why do women do that specifically?
Well, as a girl, when I did that, I feel like he had a car. He was older,
Mm,
um, and I don't know. He liked me back. I was still kind of. I was just kind of transitioning slowly out of that, like wearing a bunch of thick clothes phase or whatever.
mhm.
Starting to kind of like feel myself a little bit, stepping out of my shell and everything. But like I said, he had a car. He had money. He was a little bit older, so it was kind of the allure too. He didn't go to my high school, so I think it was that as well. He was hideous to the point where I couldn't even look him in the eye.
If you don't mind, do you remember how much older he was?
If I was in 12, he wasn't in high school, so I would say I was 17, maybe like 18, 19. Not that much older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, in your opinion, is there an age limit for a 17-year-old girl to date a man? Like, is there a point where you think, okay, that's too old for her to be dating?
Yeah. You mean for her to be dating or for his age?
No, for her to be dating, like not her, but him, like his age.
Him.
Like,
Yeah.
at what age is okay? That's too old for her.
I would say at 17, you're likely in 12th grade. So I would
Mhm.
say 19. I feel like, in high school, anybody that has a 20 behind their, numbers, 20 years old, I think is too old.
But what's the logic behind that, though? What's the rationale behind that belief?
Um, well, because I feel like can be perverts, you know what I'm saying? And, a lot of times younger girls, men can persuade girls to do things maybe that they're not ready to do. And to me, it's like, what's in a man's mindset that would want to even, you're out of high school. Why are you going to high school to date somebody? It's weird. Strange.
Okay. So I usually don't do this, but I'm going to do this time.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this conversation a bunch of times because I try to get people to understand that a lot of times the things that we think are what we feel, and then we haven't actually processed them, right? If you process this out, you're saying a 17-year-old girl, right? And you're saying, but she's in high school. But let's say she graduated early at 16. Would it still be the same now? Right? So because there was this one chick who was on a podcast. She graduated early at 16. She ended up going to college. And in that first semester, she said she slept with over 30 guys. Right? So were they manipulating her into having sex? Or was she just a sexual person who knew exactly what she was doing?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with like what to me 16 and 19 and 20 as a man, I'm not really thinking about the girl, I'm thinking about the man. I'm just thinking about like, why would you want to be with someone 16? That's just weird. This is really weird to me.
But you do understand that men are visual creatures.
Okay.
So when we don't see age, right? I had this conversation on one of my shows before where we were looking at, I don't know if we should call them small people, midgets, whatever, right? But there was this one chick that was like that, right? It's like, so if you look at this chick, she looks like a little fat kid. Well, are we judging a man saying that, oh, he must be into little fat kids because he's picking a chick that looks like a little fat kid? No, because everybody's saying she's an adult, right? And it's like, well, but you know that men don't see numbers.
That's not an excuse, though. That's not an excuse.
It's
like
absolutely
men have a brain. Men have a brain. Men have a mouth, so they can open their mouth. They can ask the question.
Right, but you're moving past attraction. See, you're saying, why would a man be attracted? Well, he's looking.
Well, yeah, he can be attracted all day, but you're talking about being intimate. Those are two separate things.
But no, I'm saying the first thing you said was, right, that men can be perverts. So can women. We're experiencing that with Michael Rainey Jr. right now, right?
Absolutely.
But the problem that I have with it is that people go right to that, right? They go right to the man being a pervert or him needing to manipulate women when we have 30-year-old women saying that men are manipulating them. Men are that man he sold me a dream. So at what age can a man not sell you a dream? How much trauma, how many kids, how much debt do you have to incur before a man can not sell you a dream? It's like, come on with the excuses. I think people are just too quick to want to demonize men, right? But there are women who are, I wouldn't tell a man to date a 16-year-old, but there are women who are 16, 17, 18, 19 who look like they've been grown for a long time physically, right? So that's what I'm saying. The initial thing, right? If you're my daughter and you're 17 and you're having sex, right, with a man, I would prefer it that if you was with an older man who could provide for the child that you might end up having. That's how my mind works. But I'm a man. I'm logical. Right. And I'm not trying to demonize either person in the situation. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was telling you earlier about trying to have that balance. Right. Which is the reason why I'm even conducting these interviews is because I see the necessity for men to have that same balance. Right.
But it's
that
not
I want
balanced.
the women to have.
It's not balanced. Like men have, I don't think it's balanced. I wouldn't even use that word. I mean, I feel like when it comes to like men and women, and I guess I'm thinking more so in relationships, but I don't know. I feel like even if you think of it biblically, I feel like men have a little bit more of a heavier cross to bear. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of men are supposed to be the leader, they're supposed to be the head, all those things. So I just don't feel like it's supposed to be balanced.
No, it's the relationship is not supposed to be balanced, which is exactly why the younger woman should be with an older man. Based off what you just said, a man is supposed to be.
A younger woman, yes, not a child. It's very different.
Right. But okay, but how old was Mary when God chose her to bear Jesus? Since you bring in the Bible.
No, you're talking about a teenager. Like this doesn't even honestly make sense. You're talking about a teenager and a grown man. That's illegal. Like that's not even illegal.
I'm saying, don't avoid the question though. How old was Mary when God chose her to give birth to Jesus?
I really don't know. She was a child. I know.
Exactly. Right. So
that was biblical times.
Oh, okay. So is it not still biblical times? It's always biblical times. We're always, according to the religion, we're always on God's time. It's God's show, right? We're just the actors, the actors in His stage play. That's all we are, right? So it's always God's time. There's going to be another Bible 1,000 years from now about these times that they use to control people as well, right? But the reason why I'm addressing this though is because of the fact that I think, as much as I see men who are, I'm talking about, I'm gonna tell you something. If I was a woman, I probably would never come on panels because as soon as you get on the panel, these guys, they're like playing double dutch. they standing outside the rope and they bouncing and they are just waiting to jump in on you, right? The first thing you say, yeah, you said you're not married right now. You're divorced immediately. I bet you she the one who filed for the divorce. See, women, and then boom, it's on. Yeah. Right, it's a whole argument now, right? There's no grace, there's no understanding, right? And I'm saying,
why does that have to be an argument? I mean, why does that be an argument?
Man, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm saying the balance is necessary. Not necessarily the balance inside of the relationship. I'm saying us on the outside judging situations. We have to view these things with a certain level of balance, particularly in order for us to have healthy conversations, right?
Yeah. You can't balance doesn't mean that you have to agree. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying about a teenager or a younger woman of that age dating someone else, but I don't have to argue with you about that. I can respect your opinion, but I don't agree.
Yeah, true. No, but it's not about whether or not you think that they should do it. It's about your opinion of the man. You see what I'm saying? So like me personally, I don't think that men should have to pay all the bills. But when I see men who are paying all the bills, I'm not judging them.
Right.
I don't say it's because he's a simp, he's a square, he's a loser, he's a lame. Right? Yeah. That's what works for him. And so I understand and accept that. And that's not going to be applicable to everybody. It's most certainly will never be applicable to me. I don't give a damn how much money I make.
Yeah. But you'll find the right one for you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the way that we view things a lot of times, like when I asked you what was your basis of your belief, the first thing you said was men can be perverts. That was the very first thing you said. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying is like we go straight to the demonization. I check men when they do that, and I point it out for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you see how you did it, right? You know what I'm saying? Just to try to see if that we can gain an understanding of. Don't go straight to the worst thing, right? Like it's
not the worst thing. I mean, I feel like if you were to Google and just, you know what I'm saying, Google certain things, you would see that, men like traditionally and statistically have higher rates in certain things than women. So it's not even about, I'm not just making that up. Like, oh, well, I've had a horrible experience or something bad happened to me. It's just, if you look at the news, you see more men raping than you see women. You see more men in bathrooms. I just saw 2 weeks ago, a man was in a grocery store masturbating on a woman as she was shopping. Like, come on. So like,
right. But see, look what you just did. You just compared a man. I didn't want to laugh.
What?
Because I didn't want to laugh because if the lady was here, I wouldn't be laughing because I would be concerned about her feelings. Somebody masturbating on her in the grocery store. Right?
I mean, that's a man. That's a man.
Right. But you're comparing that to a man seeking out a woman for a relationship, right?
No, I'm
There's
not
no
comparing that. No, I'm not. No,
You
I'm not.
are,
I'm not
because
comparing it
that's
to
what
that.
we're talking
No,
about. We're talking
I'm not.
about a
No.
man being in a relationship with a girl who may just so
I'm
happen to
comparing
be a
it to
younger
you saying
age.
that I was demonizing men, and I'm not demonizing. I'm just using what my
Perverts?
eyes can see.
Men
Pervert,
be
tomato,
perverts?
tomato, whatever word you want to use. Who's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever
Perverts
word.
is bad. I mean, at 17 years
Demonizing
old,
men.
you were
I'm not
dating a guy
demonizing
because he had a
them.
car, right?
Mhm.
There's a
I'm
lot
a
of
child.
names, right? Really?
I was a child at 17. I'm a child at 17. My
Moving
daughter's
like an
17. She
adult
doesn't know.
woman. But you
How
were
was I moving
moving like an adult woman.
How?
Because that's what adult women do. Use men.
I don't.
Oh, well, okay, so yeah, you don't, but that's because you were like, you know,
It's
that
not using. It's
one
give and
particular
take.
scripture.
Nothing is free. Nothing is free. It's give and take.
Oh my God!
And that's
You
the balance
didn't
you're
even
talking
like
about.
him.
It's the balance. That is the
You
balance.
didn't even like him. You called him hideous. I hope he
was
never
hideous.
sees this.
He was hideous.
Oh my God!
But I'm sure. But I mean, I wasn't hideous then. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he got something from attaching himself to me. I got something for attaching myself to him, and that's the end of it.
On
That's
the
the balance.
playback, when this interview comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure I drop this clip too. Watch, and I'm gonna make sure I put it in the chat for people to answer. I guarantee you, people are going to say she's a feminist. I guarantee it. If you watch it back and just listen to, you can't Google it.
I have to, because
Feminists
I feel like I
own the Google dictionary.
Okay, now it's our fault. Got it.
Now
you're demonizing women.
They've been changed. No, not women, feminists. See, okay. I am very specific in the words that I use, right? They've been changing definitions behind our backs. So we don't even.
Oh, okay.
But no, but this is the thing though, right? So, because my thing is this, particularly, we could demonize you, right? As a 17-year-old girl dating somebody who you don't really have interest in. He really has interest in you. You know this. You take that for what it's worth, and then you're saying, well, this thing that I'm giving you, which is literally founded on my disgust of you, I consider you hideous, is a good enough exchange, right? I could demonize, or I could understand, right? And me, I choose to understand. You see what I'm saying? Particularly when, like you just said, as an adult, you don't even move like that. And I'm sure you're not raising your daughters to be that way. Yeah. Exactly. But you were raised, right? You were that scripture about train a child in the way that they should go, right? So you were given the proper instructions, right? You got older, you started making your own decisions. You were trying to find your way. You made mistakes along the way, and then you corrected it. We have to give everybody, including men, that kind of grace. Right. And that's why when I'm on these panels with these guys and they say certain stuff about women that I know ain't true. All these girls be out here having babies at 16. Bro, stop lying. The numbers say the average age for a Black woman's first pregnancy is 22. So you're lying when you say they out here having babies at 16 all willy-nilly, bro. You don't have to be hyperbolic to make your point. See what I'm saying?
I don't feel like it's demonizing men, because I feel like if you would have said a woman, like if you would have reversed that, if it had been a boy that was 16 and a woman that was 20, I would have said the same thing. So it's just inappropriate.
Okay, so let's say I believe you.
I would call her a pervert.
Absolutely. Let's say I believe you, right? Who do you think has more inappropriate relationships with their students, men or women? The fact that you even have to think about it, the fact that you even have to consider it, lets me know the truth.
I don't know.
Come on now, use that melanin.
I don't know.
They say melanin is intelligence. Use that melanin.
I don't know the answer. I would have to Google.
No, you ain't got to Google.
I don't know the
You
answer
are
to
a
that.
dark-skinned woman. That means you have all the answers in you. You know it's the women. You don't want to say it.
I can assume, but I don't know for sure.
It's
No.
absolutely the women. But here's the thing. You know why it's the women? Because 80% of teachers are women.
Right.
So it's
Right.
not like women are just so more perverted than men. They just
Right.
outnumber men when it comes to being teachers. You see what I'm saying? 80% of teachers are women. So of course, the more relationships with students, inappropriate relationships with students are with the women, right? Okay, cool. So now let's think about this when we talk about men being perverted, right? Women, on the other hand, are always getting attention from men, always have access to sex. Men don't, which is why men are more perverted in a general sense. Because most men don't even have the same access as that 20 to 30% of men. So this is what I'm saying. It's not because they're men, it's just because of the way that things operate, which is the reason for grace. I am too good at this. I need to write a book. I love my people, especially the dark skins. Melanin is that thing. Of course you don't. Your feelings won't allow you to. Right?
It has nothing to do with feelings.
That's how I know you're a feminist. I am proving right now that you are.
I don't have to have a title. Like, I don't have to be a feminist or not. I don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't subscribe to neither one.
Yeah, you don't have to be anything.
But yes, all of everything you have stated so far about men so far, we're gonna give you a chance to clean it up in a minute. You're gonna bring this back home. You're gonna release the feminism energy. You are gonna become a goddess melanated deity, and you are gonna heal the world.
I already am.
Okay, see, there you go. All right. So where were we at? We were at, you were 17 years old and you were using a man for his car.
I was not using him for his car. I was not using this man for his car. Not at all. No.
When I asked you, I said, why do women do this? Why would you be with somebody that you don't even like? You said, well, he had a car. That's what you said.
I mean, why was he with me? I mean,
because you were a melanated black woman. Why else would he need to be with you? What else? What else is there? That's enough.
Always give and take. Nothing's free. Nobody. You're not with anybody just not to get anything out of it. You're getting something. So,
did you have sex with him?
Ugh, no.
Okay, then there it is. He lost.
No. He didn't.
He did. So you just said that these relationships ought to be give and take. Correct. I agree. But you got what you were there for. He didn't.
What did I get?
The car and the money.
No, I didn't get the car and the money. I couldn't even drive. I didn't get the car and the money, number one. And number two, like, you're talking like a stereotypical man saying that, like, sex is not the only thing that a man can get that's worth something. He got my time. He got associating my name to his.
I just can't believe that you really came into this interview questioning me on calling you a feminist. This is hilarious to me.
I'm not a feminist.
I'm giving you a pass because you chocolate, okay?
I'm not a feminist.